तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गोदेवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय, भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय, शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय, स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, माता पिता की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। मंगल भवन मंगल हारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर विहारी दीन दयाल विरज सम्मानी हरमुनाथ मम संकट मारी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता chapter 4, and we have started doing verse number 19. यस्य सर्वे संरम्भः काम संकल्पवर्जितः ज्ञान ग्रन्थान्धकर्माणं तमाहु पंडित बुद्धः। यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जितः ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्माणं तम आहु पंडितां बुद्धः। यस्य for whom सर्व all samrambha undertaking काम संकल्प वर्जिता free from desires for result, there is no desire of result, and will ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्माणम whose actions are burnt up by the fire of knowledge, tama him Buddha the sages, Panditam wise, Ahu calls. The person, the one whom all undertaking, for whom all undertaking are free from binding desires and will, whose actions are burnt by the fire of knowledge, the sage call him wise. Whose karmas can be burnt? The person who has knowledge. For him, karmas are akarma. He understands the akarma in karma. The one who understands the akarma in karma is jnani. He doesn't have any desire from the actions he do. There is all inaction in the actions. He doesn't desire anything. He doesn't have any desire for any result. And he doesn't will a karma for a desired result, because he has the knowledge. He has the knowledge of desires not ending, not leading to anything. The person who was earlier described as being able to see inaction in action and action in action is again praised here. He is the only person. The person understands the nature of karma and akarma. He or she knows that akarma does not mean not doing an action. He knows that akarma doesn't mean not doing an action. Akarma doesn't mean not doing action. You have to continue doing actions. But he understands the action as akarma. He understands the akarma in karma. This is self-knowledge. It is seeing oneself in every action itself as a karta, a non-doer. He is able to see, he is able to understand the Atma, the non-doer of all the actions. This is self-knowledge. The knowledge makes you free. That makes you sarva karma krat. Sarva karma krat. One who has done everything that is to be done. While doing also it is already done. It is done. Everything is completed. Everything is done. There is no difference between action and activity. There is a difference between action and activity that is to be noted here. This is what we were looking into. An activity is an undertaking that implies a number of actions, various steps that you take. Behind each activity there is a plan, and based on that plan the activity is undertaken for achieving a given purpose. Any given activity meant to produce a given result has a beginning, whether the activity is building a house, cooking, or doing business. All such undertakings are called samarambha. When a wise person undertakes an activity, he or she does so without kama. The wise person doesn't have any desires to fulfill from any. He does the activity, he does the business, he does everything, he cooks, he makes the house, he does everything, but there he has no kama into it. He has no desires. There is no, and sankalpa as well. He doesn't have any sankalpa as well. And he is not wanting to achieve something for which there is a will, a sankalpa. By doing this I will achieve this. There is no kama, there is no will. Then what happens, and for whom does it happen, when a wise person undertakes the activity? This we were to understand, that if wise person do a activity, the wise person whose vision of Atma, the self, is Satchitanand and knows that he or she is a karta, the vision being there, the person is limitless, full, purna. How then can there be any activity for the person who has this knowledge? This is what we were seeing. Although Kratsan Karmakrat means there is nothing for the person to do, it does not mean that he or she does something. Krishna drove the chariot and was teaching Arjuna. Shankara wrote number of commentaries and Vyasa wrote number of books, assuming they knew that what they were teaching, they were definitely engaged in activities. All were engaged in activity. They were doing their nitya karmas. They were definitely doing their karmas. Even in terms of talking alone, they were very active. So how can you say they were kritsan karma krit? What is there to teach? Why teacher needs? Why a jnani needs to teach? If you ask why a person should teach, I will ask why should he or she not teach? By teaching, the person does not come out of himself or herself. In karma, he is or she sees a karma. The jnani sees a karma. In that karma, if a person thinks action is bondage, then action becomes satya for that person. This is what we are about to see now. The person who has desires and then do karma, then action becomes a satya for him. To think certain actions are bondage and other actions are not bondage is confusion. And to remove such confusion, karma must be understood, because people do not understand karma and akarma. They say Vedanta Shastra is a theory and it is karma alone that produces moksha. Krishna himself said that even sages are confused about karma and akarma. Even the highly knowledgeable sages are still confused about karma and akarma. Karma is not an ordinary topic. This is a very deep rooted meaning in it. And it is not easy to understand. Many people, even those who are very serious, have lost themselves in it because they do not understand. Organizations and many social service have been born out of non-understanding of this topic. Therefore, karma is to be understood and has to be understood clearly. For the one who understands karma, you may say, why are you doing karma? Where is the need to do karma? Please understand the meaning of karma. Only then you will understand how wise person, despite of doing karma, is a karta. For one who understands karma and akarma, teaching is not an action. Even though there is action, because the person sees in action, knowing himself or herself to be a karta. A jnani, for a jnani, doing business is no action, even though there is action, because the person, the jnani, sees in action, he understands the inaction in the action. Knowing himself or herself as a karta, he knows that he is a karta. For such person there is no karma, akarma or anything else. No desire or will. You may say the business is to be done with desires. There has to be desire, but for a jnani businessman there is no desire. There is not even the desire to do business. There is no desire to teach for a teacher. If a teacher who knows that what is all about does not have an opportunity to teach, he or she does not lose anything. The person will not become lonely or be at loss for something to do, nor is anything lost if the person teaches. Anyone who thinks that he or she teaches in order to save the world is under the spell of great delusion. In fact, the person is need to be being saved, and in the meantime the world should be saved from such a person. When a teacher starts thinking, the person thinks that if teacher is saved, trying to save the world. This is a great delusion. The person that person should be saved. Self-appointed saviors, self-appointed saints, sadhus, self-appointed. Please understand, this is for the Babas. Self-appointed saviors definitely create problem. If the person thinks that God appointed him or her to save the world, the question can be, why should God have appointed you to do this? He can save the world himself. He doesn't need anybody's support. He himself is capable of doing everything. What God is he who would appoint someone to save the world when he himself is almighty? Why should an almighty God want to intermediary? There is no intermediary required by God. That you are going to save the world is greatest delusion. No teacher is not here to teach to save the world. How can you save the world when you yourself need an entire society to keep you going? Your food, clothing and shelter all comes to you because of so many people work to grow the food, sew the clothes and build the houses. How are you to save anyone? You are helpless and anyone else. And what is it or who is the one that you can save? This is for the nowadays modern Babas who have come here to save the world. This is the question. They all depend on the food, the cloth, the shelter which comes from others. The other people work to grow the food, sew the clothes and build the houses. Who are you to save them? Who are you to save anyone? You are helpless as anyone else. And what is it or who is the one that you can save? On the other hand, if you have something that you can spare and still survive, and there is someone who needs it and can be helped by it, there is no problem. It is human. There is no question of anyone saving the world. So thinking is nothing but a delusion. Ahankara, ego. This kind of such thinking is nothing, just a delusion. It is ahankara. The world has survived for so many years without you. Even now, in spite of you, it continues to survive. So how many people are you going to save? Whereas if you say that you have something and can share it with others who need it, you are mature human being. If you say, instead of saving the world, you say, I have some this knowledge, if it can help you, please, then it is okay. Then it is being a mature human being. But everyone is to be shared. Whether you have enough to give one person or 1,000 people make no difference. If you do not have money to share, you may have some time to share and you share it. Or you have some good words to share with those who need them and you do so. Sharing is caring. If you have money, share your money. That is what you have. If you have good words, share. If you don't have money, don't worry, you might have something else to share. You might have good words. You might have your time. Share time. Good words are not words that place one's hope somewhere. Nor are they good news. Good words are words that speak of your accepting the person as he or she is totally without judging. Such words boost the morale of the person and are not promises in terms of the future. This is motivating people, giving positive thinking, making others positively think, not promising anything. They only postpone resolving the problem. No practical person wants to hear that there is no hope here, but only later in heaven, and that they should ensure that they go to heaven and not in damnation. What kind of philosophy is this? Who want these kind of words? What a person need are simple words that make one feel acceptable. Words that tell me that there is one person who understands me as I am, and that I am acceptable to that person, are very beautiful words indeed. These are the words that are required. They create an atmosphere within I am accepted. This is all anyone wants. No one saves anyone. I do not learn Vedanta to save people, much less the world. To think that if I enlighten the majority of people, society will be transformed, is the greatest delusion. To save me from condemning myself is enough. By doing so, there will be one problem less for the world to deal with. Also, by being a cheerful person, I am not radiating my sorrows to others. Sorrow is very contagious disease. Doors and windows cannot stop it. Even I keep my doors and windows locked. Somehow the sorrow of other manages to creep in. It has its own way of traveling and does not even need keyholes. So if there is one person on the earth who is happy with himself or herself, that person is doing a great service to the world, because he or she is no sadness to radiate to others. He is not transmitting the sadness. You may say that you keep your sadness to yourself so that it does not radiate to others. Doing this just creates additional problem, because eventually the build-up will result in outburst of anger and frustration. Don't keep your sadness to yourself, because I have said, don't spread sadness. Be cheerful doesn't mean you pile up your sadness. Therefore, you better not keep your sadness to yourself. Talking about your sorrow to someone is definitely better than holding on to it. All that you can do then is save yourself from your own persecutions. The word does not persecute you. You persecute yourself with your own self-condemnation, which is why it is said that you are both your own best friend and your own worst enemy. You can be cruel to yourself and you can be kind to yourself. To save yourself from your own persecution is freedom. And when that freedom is there, any discerning pair of eyes with a mind that has some leisure will recognize it. People will ask you how you became so free. You seem to have something. What is it that you have? Please tell me. This is wisdom. So you have to understand. Wisdom has no name. It is just knowledge. Vedanta is a name, but wisdom, jnana, has no name. It is just knowledge. Others will see that you seem to be free and will naturally want to know what you know. Your word may ring true to them and they will want to know more, provided of course they know you, someone they can trust, someone they can meet without being judged. If there is such a person in the world, people would naturally go to that person and become his or her student. This is how the wise become teachers. Not because they want to teach, but because they are people who want to learn. There are people who want to learn. Such a person has no kama or sankalpa even though he or she performs certain activities. In this verse, the person is further described as Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma, one whose actions are burnt by the fire of knowledge. For the one who has this knowledge, all the karmas standing in his or her account are totally wiped out. This is the person the sages call wise. Who can teach you? First thing is, who has the right? The one who knows can teach. The one who is himself happy can teach happiness. How is he happy? Because he has the knowledge. That knowledge he can give. There are people who want peace, and a Jnani has peace. Therefore they go to Jnani, they go to a saint who has the knowledge of happiness. And he is not looking happiness in objects. He knows, he understands. He has no kama, no sankalpa. Even though he performs activity, then also he has no desires, no kama, no sankalpa, no will. He is the person who can give the knowledge. The one who can give you the knowledge, the one who has the knowledge can give you the knowledge. Only the wise person can call another person wise. If one who is not wise calls someone wise, there is a problem, because the person is doing so on based of his or her own concept of wisdom. Here it is said that sages, buddhaha, call the same person wise who has described earlier the kritsan karma krit. Such a person is able to see the actionlessness as the nature of Atma. Because he or she sees actionlessness as the nature of Atma. Because he or she sees actionlessness as the nature of the self. The person recognizes himself or herself as a karta, a non-doer, action being impossible for Atma. Even when activities take place, the karta, doer is Atma. The activities themselves are also Atma, along with the Karanas, instrument of action. Because everything is Atma, there is no difference such as Karta, Karma, Karana. If the self is a Karta, all three are the same. In fact, the subject-object distinction is not there. Only when the self is mistaken for a Karta, a doer, does everything else naturally become different from the doer. Who is Karta then? The self as the doer has to be recognized as the physical body, mind, sense complex. That alone will be the self for one who sees the self as doer. If this is the conclusion, then there are differences in the form of kriya, the action coming from the karta, the person, karma, an object of action, and karma phala, the result of action that occurs to the person. This is exactly what is meant by expression sansara chakra, the wheel of karma. If a person who looks upon himself or herself as karta is able to recognize that the nature of the self is always actionless, that I am that actionless, free from any karma, then action becomes purely apparent, mithya for the person. And when action is mithya, the actor becomes mithya, as does the result of action and everything else. Because the person sees the self in this way, there is no real action and his or her part at any time. This is what is meant by the statement in the previous verse. Karmani akarma yah pasyet. The wise person is one who, even when performing an action, is able to see the actionlessness in it. A jnani can see actionlessness in action. There is no particular state involved here. There is no different state. There is no different time. It is recognition, knowledge of the self, free from doership, which is why the person is described as kritsan karma krit, seeing oneself free from doership. The person has done all the action that are to be done. The kritsan karma krit is also free of desire and will, kama sankalpa varjita. As we have seen, being free of kama and sankalpa means the person is not controlled in any way by whatsoever desire or will he or she may have. Therefore, the desire is not binding. Desire and whatever sankalpa that may be there is also non-binding. For a jnani, any activity, any karma is non-binding because he has no kama, sankalpa. There is no desire, and their desire is not binding by any sankalpa, will. Karma never returns for the wise person. This is very important. Karma never returns for the wise person. This is again a very long chapter. We have to, long verse, we will see it. We today will complete. The desire and will of wise person is like a seed that has been roasted, dagda bijavat, and therefore cannot germinate and bear fruits. Dagda bijat, a roasted seed. It is a particular expression used here for the purpose of analysis. If seeds are sown, they are capable of producing result. Whereas if they are roasted, they are good only for enjoyment of those who eat them. They cannot be used for cultivation because they are no longer capable of germinating. Similarly, all the karmas for wise person are only for enjoyment. Bhogaratha, in the sense of karma phala bhoga, enjoying the results of action. The prarabdha karma the person came with has to run its course. Therefore, any karma one does knowing the Atma is a karta is only bhoga, experience and exhaustion of prarabdha karma alone. The person's action cannot produce anything because he or she is a karta. He or she has understood himself as a karta. They have the knowledge. Such a person is called Pandita, wise, and Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma. Jnana Agni Agadha Karma is therefore another compound describing the wise person. Jnana, knowledge, is referred to as fire, Agni, and this fire of knowledge, Jnana Agni, burns up all the person's karma. Therefore, the person is called Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma, one whose karma have been destroyed by knowledge. Karma can only be destroyed by knowledge, and there is no other way of putting an end to the karma chakra, the sansar chakra. Only gaining knowledge is the possible way for reducing the karmas, putting an end to karmas. One may ask, will karmas return? The destruction of karma referred to here is not like what happened when a tree is cut down and grown back again and again from the roots. The karmas are destroyed totally. They have no more existence whatsoever. They are burnt up to ashes, as it were. As long as a person has to understand the Atma is a Karta, then there is a Jiva who is a Karta. And ignorance being it cause, the Jiva has no beginning. In other words, because ignorance is not something that was created, the Jiva is also not created at given time. Anything that is not created cannot have a beginning. All creation is only in terms of one's body, mind, sense complex, and the world is in which one lives. Consciousness is also something that is created. Therefore, consciousness being Atma, the Lord did not create Atma, the self. He created only those objects that we call bodies, along with various forms, and this he did according to the laws. When we call creation is for the Jiva, whereas the Jiva who in reality is Atma is not created. In the creation there is one thing that is not created, the consciousness, that is Atma. Everything else which we call creation has been created due to Jiva's karma alone. This is a very big statement, sir. Only consciousness is not created. The Atma is not created. Everything else is created. And why is this karma? Because the Jiva is a Karta. Jiva is a Karta. Why is Jiva a Karta? Because Ajnana, ignorance is. When did this ignorance begin? Ignorance is Anadi. It has no beginning whatsoever. From the standpoint of Jiva, there is an account, a Karma Phala or Punya Papa account. This Karma Phala has been gathered by Jiva over countless numbers of births, whose beginning cannot be established. Therefore, these births can also be considered to be infinite in number. In this infinite numbers, birth in different period of time, an infinite number of karmas have been collected. Being so numerous, these karma cannot fulfill themselves in one physical body at a given time and place. Only one set the karmas can be exhausted in a given incarnation. Thus, in this particular incarnation, I can exhaust a certain set of karmas, and the rest remain in my account for future incarnation. Some of the karmas in the set can be exhausted only when you are born in India, and others can be exhausted only when you happen to be born in United States. These type of karma, there are three type of karma. Even this particular set of karma is being exhausted. Even though this particular set of karma is being exhausted in a given incarnation, there are still infinite karmas in your account. These term deposit karmas are called sanchit karma. Karmas that cannot be exhausted in this particular body. Also, while exhausting karmas in this incarnation, you gather new karmas. As long as you enjoy the status of doership, kartatva, these are called kriya mana karma or agami karma. Karma that is being gathered now in this lifetime. Agami karma means futuristic karma. You gather new punya and papa because you enjoy a free will, and these new karmas join the other and have accumulated in your account. Because all the punya papa that you have gathered is lodged in one general account, you cannot say that this life is due to your immediate past. The most you can say is that it is due to the past. The punya papa is credited to this general account for which certain karmas precipitate and from there again another set of karma precipitate. Therefore, a particular incarnation can be the result of karma collected in the previous birth plus those you collected from thousands of births previously. Since all type of karmas can join together and create a new birth, the choices are plenty. In this way, any of them can join together, giving you another lease. The set of karma that began to fructify from the moment this physical body was conceived is called prarabdha karma. That has already begun. Arambha. These are called three type of karma: sanchit, agami, and prarabdha. Generally referred to as karma. Knowledge destroys all the karma. This is most important part. The knowledge, the jnana, it destroys all the karma. For the person who is able to recognize the self as a karta, there is no longer any doership, kartatva. And since there is no kartatva, all the karma standing in his or her name are burnt up, dagdaha, by the fire of knowledge. Gyan Agni, whereas without this knowledge there is no end to the number of births and the gathering of karmas. This is why sansara is said to be endless. Sansar chakra can be ended only by the jnana. Jnana Agni only can burn the sansar chakra, the karma chakra. So, there is only one way out, by the fire of knowledge that destroys all the karmas. They are destroyed because there is no karta. This knowledge of there is no karta. All the sanchit karma standing in the general account and any agami karmas, they are one reaps in the lifetime, are totally destroyed. Totally destroyed means they are understood. By the fire of knowledge they are destroyed means by the jnana, by attaining the jnana, one is able to understand the akartha, non-doer, which destroys all agami karmas. Punya papa will no longer come to the person because there is no kartatva in terms of knowledge. Therefore the person is called Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma here. From the standpoint of Atma, one is only free from Prarabdha Karma. Prarabdha is only from the point of view of the physical body, mind and senses. Because the person is still here, still seen, we say there is prarabdha karma, but we cannot say that Atma is suffering due to prarabdha. The person has destroyed all karma by fire of knowledge and is therefore wise pandita. He or she is now a free person, a jivan mukta. The word jivan means while living, while being in a form. And the word mukta means liberated. While being in a form, the person is liberated. This person is liberated right now while living and not later after death. So he or she is called Jivan Mukta. Given this understanding, then can a jnani be defined in terms of whether he or she performs karma? It all depends on person's prarabdha. Based on his or her prarabdha, the jnani has to undergo certain experiences, which is why you will find variety of jnanis. They may be grihasthas, married people with children. They may also be doing business or ruling a country, like King Janaka, like Modi. A jnani can be doing anything or giving up everything and then to a lifestyle of a sannyasi, like Swamiji Prabodhananda. As long as jnani is a grasta, there are karmas to be done. He cannot simply say, I am jnani, and avoid what he has to do. He has to continue to do the rituals that grastas are enjoined to do. But even though the jnani perform these rituals, it is not karma because the person knows the Atma to be a karta. At the same time, a jnani does not want to set a wrong example for the people. So as grasta, he or she has to and will perform karma. Nor does the person lose anything by doing it. Thus, a jnani performs action is not a problem. A jnani can be a grastha. A grastha can be a jnani. For a jnani, there is no kama or sankalpa in action. He or she does not say, I am going to accomplish this so that I can be that. Therefore, the person may do anything. He or she may act out of dharma, play the role and play it well. Or the person may see the drama and its role as useless naturally. So because there is uselessness there, and to take up to the sannyasa. Even as a sannyasi, the person may or may not do karma. He or she may not teach. The sannyasi may be a Mauni Baba and not teach. She may teach. If a sannyasi teaches, the teaching may be done in a simpler manner or in a highly organized manner. It all depends upon prarabdha of the sannyasi. Those sannyasis who have taken sannyasa as a lifestyle for the sake of gaining knowledge have only one role to play. They are completely freed from all obligations, except those attached to their role as students. When they gain jnana, they will continue to live a life of sannyasi. Atma is same, but because of prarabdha, there are many kind of jnanis, more of which we will see in next few verses. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. I hope you are able to understand. This is the simplest way Swamiji could have explained such a beautiful text. We are going to do each and every shloka with each and every word of description given by Swami Dayananda ji and explained by Swami Prabodhanand ji. It is a beautiful text once understood, and when shabdas are understood, only then jnana will take place. The truti will go. The error about oneself will go. So we'll keep on concentrating on the text. Hari Om Tat Sat.